Here's the thing almost nobody does. Xiaomi just put a real, optical 5x periscope zoom, the kind that normally only shows up on phones costing twice as much, into a 60,000 rupee phone. That's the Xiaomi 17T. And sitting right above it is the 17T Pro, with a genuine 2026 flagship chip. Two phones, one Leica camera system, a very deliberate set of trade-offs. Let's break down exactly what you get, what you give up, and which one is actually worth your money. First, what this actually is. The 17T is Xiaomi's T-series, the line that historically takes flagship-style cameras and a Leica tuning and sells them a notch below true flagship money. This year there are two, the standard 17T, an upper-mid all-rounder, and the 17T Pro, the proper flagship version. Both share the same Leica triple camera look, the same 5x periscope, the same big silicon carbon battery philosophy. The Pro just turns up the chip, the screen, the charging and the video. Think of them as the same idea at two power levels. Here's the base 17T, by the numbers. A 6.59-inch AMOLED that hits a blinding 3500 nits and runs at 120 Hz. A Dimensity 8500 Ultra chip. A huge 6500 mAh battery in a body that's still only 200 grams. The Leica 50-megapixel main, the 5x periscope, and an IP68 rating so it survives a dunk. On paper, this reads like a phone that should cost a lot more than it does. Now the most important difference between the two. The base 17T runs a Dimensity 8500 Ultra, an upper-mid chip, built on a 4nm process, with an unusual all-big core design, 8 performance cores, no tiny battery saver cores. That keeps it fast and consistent under load, roughly in Snapdragon 8S territory. Plenty for everyday life and most gaming. The Pro, though, jumps to the Dimensity 9500, a true 2026 flagship on a 3nm process. Xiaomi says it's about 50% faster on the processor, and up to 70% in combined tasks. On the benchmarks, that's the difference between strong and elite. The camera is the headline, so let's be precise about it. Both phones carry a Leica Tune triple system, a 50-megapixel main, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and the star, a 50-megapixel 5x periscope telephoto. That periscope is a genuine optical advantage. It bends light sideways through a prism so a long lens fits in a thin body. 5x is real, and it stays sharp out to about 10. Beyond that, the headline 120x zoom is digital, guessing pixels, fun for a distant sign, not a reason to buy. The one camera gap, the Pro gets a physically bigger main sensor and shoots up to 8K video. The zoom itself is identical on both. The screen is where the 17T quietly punches above its price. 3500 nits of peak brightness means it stays readable in direct sunlight, that's genuinely flagship grade. It's a sharp 1.5K panel, smooth at 120 Hz, with Dolby Vision and HDR10+ for proper streaming. The high-frequency PWM dimming is easier on the eyes at night. The Pro stretches it to a bigger 6.83-inch panel at 144 Hz, better for gaming, but the everyday viewing experience on the base model is already excellent. Battery is a real strength, with one honest catch. Both phones use silicon carbon cells, a denser chemistry that crams more capacity into the same slim shell. That's how the 17T fits a 6500 mAh battery into a 200-gram body, and the Pro pushes it to 7000. Endurance is excellent. The catch is charging speed. The base 17T tops out at 67 watts and has no wireless charging, fine, a full charge in under an hour, but rivals are pushing 80 to 120. The Pro fixes this properly, 100 watts wired and 50 watts wireless. If fast charging matters to you, that's a real reason to step up. So, side by side. The Pro upgrades 5 things. The chip jumps from upper mid to true flagship, the screen grows and goes to 144 Hz, the main camera sensor gets bigger and adds 8K video, the battery grows with 100 watt and wireless charging, and the frame switches from plastic to aluminum. Everything else, the 5x periscope, the ultra-wide, the selfie camera, the Leica tuning, IP68, is the same. So the question is simple, are those 5 upgrades worth roughly 150 to 250 euros more to you? Now the part the ads skip. On the base 17T, 67W charging is slow for the price, the frame is plastic, the selfie camera lacks autofocus, and reviewers note that a cheaper Poco with nearly the same chip and screen exists, so you're partly paying for the brand and the tuning. On the Pro, it's launched at a premium, and remember, its telephoto is exactly the same as the cheaper phone, so if zoom is your only reason, the Pro gives you nothing extra there. And one number to ignore on both, that 120 times zoom is marketing, not optics. Here's the price, itemized. The base 17T starts at 59,999 rupees, or 749.90 euros, with a higher storage tier just above. The Pro lands around 999.90 euros globally, about 150 up. In India the Pro isn't officially priced yet, so ignore any number you see floating around. And in most regions there's no charger in the box, so budget a little extra for a brick. Factor that in, because the real comparison isn't just the sticker.
Here's the one idea to keep. The 17T is a lesson in deliberate spending. It pours its budget into the things you actually touch every day, the bright screen, the Leica zoom, the all-day battery, and saves on the chip and the charging brick, the specs most people never push to the limit. That's not cutting corners. That's knowing where your money is felt. Spend where you'll feel it.
So which one? For most people, the base 17T is the sweet spot. You get the same Leica 5x zoom, the same bright screen, the same big battery, in a lighter, cheaper, more compact body. Buy the Pro only if you're a gamer or a video creator who genuinely needs the flagship chip, 8K recording, 144 Hz, and the faster wireless charging, and you're happy to pay for it. The base goes on sale in India on the 10th of June, the Pro's India launch is still pending. Quick verdict. Buy the 17T if you want a real periscope zoom, a bright screen, and all-day battery without paying flagship money. Step up to the Pro if you need raw power, 8K video, and the fastest charging. Skip the series if your top priority is the quickest possible charging at the price, or you want a true flagship chip on the cheaper model. That's not what this is. Know which one you are, and it's an easy, confident choice. So that's the Xiaomi 17T and 17T Pro, a phone that spends smartly, a genuine Leica 5x zoom, a brilliant screen, a battery that lasts, with a flagship Pro waiting above it for the people who need the extra muscle. If you want tech explained with the hype stripped out and the trade-offs left in, subscribe to Technologia today. We read the spec sheet, then we tell you what it actually means.